What happened to the victims, spouses and the relatives of these victims? What did they do with them? He said, government should not be stealing or towing this line.
All right.
Israel and USA are exterminating them. And why are we sympathizing with them?
All right.
That is my experience.
Thank you. Yes, admitting bandits as repentant people or reintegrating them. In fact, one of the news headlines says about 720 or there about combatants. And I'm wondering, is that a new name, the new lexicon for terrorists? Because who are the combatants? I really don't know, though. I mean, I don't want us to go into that. But hey, we told you we will be having our book review, and our author is on standby. It would be rude to keep him waiting for too long, so we'll be taking this quick break as we bring in this very interesting conversation around this book written by this great author, and is also connected with a major issue in Nigeria, and that is insecurity, kidnappings, and the whole experience of one person who has been there, and he'll be speaking to us in a short while. So don't go anywhere. It's 95.1 Nigeria Info. We'll be back.
Stay updated with all the current news. From policies to politics.
Hi, everyone.
Local and foreign news. We keep you updated on
dividends of democracy.
Before the election, they'll keep on promising us, heaven and earth. But immediately they assume office, but the story will change.
For better governance, what's the citizens' pulse towards 2027?
Join us every day on 95.1 Nigeria Info on every show.
Through the experience he had gone through for approximately 50 days, decided to write a book called 50 Days in the Kidnappers' Den. And so on the book review, we will be trying to feel the pulse of how it feels to be one who has gone through that experience and the lessons. And Swat, it's more like looking at it from a different paradigm.
Yeah.
Because you know what they say about it's better experienced than said.
Yes,
and
or
so,
imagined.
Exactly, than imagined. And so the book review today will be capturing all of that. So it's with great pleasure that we say a big welcome to General Idika Odey, the author of 50 Days in the Kidnappers Den, joining us virtually on Nigeria Info Abuja. General, good afternoon. Welcome to Abuja virtually.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Amazing. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can. So I hope you're doing well. Happy Democracy Day.
Same to you. We thank God for democracy, and we're trusting God for a better one in the nearest future.
It's well.
Don't worry, it's an experience and it keeps improving. It's not like democracy is something that will have another one and another one. We just keep hoping.
Can't you just install one that will work?
Hey, okay, I forgot you're a comedian. You will tell us how in the process of it. All right, Mr. General Odey, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay.
Yes, so at this time, it will be important that you introduce to Abuja and to every Nigerian listening in right now, because we're streaming live on Nigeria Info Abuja, to tell us who is General Idika Odey and what experience did you go through that inspired the writing of 50 Days in the Kidnappers Den?
Thank you very much. Let me go straight to the point. My name is Idika Odey, popularly known as General Odey. I'm just a comedian, media personality, event host, author, and someone that is so passionate about kingdom work. And I'm based in Akwa Ibom State. So that's who I am. And the inspiration for this book came from one of the most difficult experiences of my life. You know, people sleep and get inspired. People drive, get inspired. Some people will just be eating good food. They get inspired to write. But my own inspiration came, in fact, from one of the most difficult experiences. It was in April 2025 while traveling to Calabar from Akwa Ibom State through the Oron waterways. That's where I was kidnapped alongside other passengers. And I spent 50 days in captivity. In fact, that weekend was like one of my biggest weekends. I was going to have some mega event in, Cross River State. From there, I'll go to Lagos. I was just booked for that weekend. But that happened, and I found myself spending 50 days in captivity. But when I regained my freedom, many people wanted to know what truly happened. I shared some part of it, jovially, some events. I just made people laugh from their experience, but I knew there were more that I needed to put out there. That is why I went this far to, help their curiosity. I felt a burden to document this lesson and tell people the miracles, the struggles, the faith that sustained me. And that's how the book was born, out of desire, to preserve even the testimony that God brought our way and to inspire anyone facing any season. It could be, if I'm not mention seasons, seasons are many. So that's about me and the inspiration behind the book.
All right, so thank you for sharing. So let's move on to getting a detailed preview of the book, page by page. Take us on a journey on what it is that you poured out through the pages that I believe you did your launch a few weeks ago, that you would be wanting everyone to share and speak about. So do go ahead and share with us, give us a detailed preview of the content of the book.
Okay, the book takes readers on the complete journey from the unusual spiritual preparation that happened before the kidnapping to the actual adoption, life inside the kidnappers camp, hunger, fear, uncertainty, negotiations, prayer sections, and eventually, the freedom that God gave us. I think when they took us 50 days, I spent the longest days in the kidnappers. Among the people that were kidnapped with me anyway, we were 24 of us. So I spent the longest time. The others left in 2 weeks, in 3 days, in 5 days, in 30 days, but I had to spend 50 good days in that place. So it is not just a story about kidnapping. That's what I would like readers to know. It is a story about faith under pressure. It is about what happens when a man loses control of everything except his relationship with God. So the book is a deep book. The book also explores the psychological effect of captivity, the healing process after release, and how the experience transformed my understanding
More
of
news
purpose, destiny, and mystery. So if you go through the book, you will really get first-hand info. Hello, you said?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, so I was saying that going through the book will really help you understand what really happened. In the book, I shared it, publicly because many people are fighting their own battle. That's one of the reasons I needed to write this book out. Many people are fighting their own battles, their own den. May not be kidnappers, may not be a kidnapper's camp. Maybe sickness, maybe grief, unemployment, addiction, depression, even disappointment. So I wanted people to know that darkness does not have the final word. If you go through the pages of this book, the chapters are so short. You can just at one sitting finish the whole book. It has pictures that explain some of the things I went through there, the hunger. I can remember when I was writing this book, I had to stop at some point because it was bringing back memories, flashbacks of how the whole thing happened, the type of water we were drinking. They give us water from, diesel gallons, fuel rubbers, drinking those type of water has some effect even on your body. Those are the type of water we drink, and they were not even coming often. Food was like once in 1 week. So you have to use the remaining days to drink your saliva and torture, beating, negotiation. So the book captures everything, first-hand information of the experience that I went through in the kidnappers' den for 50 good days.
How many chapters of the book do we have?
Okay, we have close to 20, in fact 21 chapters. 21 chapter 1 to 21, short chapters. So we have chapter 1, God prepared me for what was to come. We have the journey that changed everything, the moment of capture. Who are these men? Welcome to the den. Chapter 6 is fear in the air. We have chapter 11, a typical day in the den. Just what what we went through, a typical normal day. Then we have chapter 13, the last man standing, 14. And it goes on and on. And I even shared at some point a chapter the kidnappers then. So the experience was just something that I needed a lot of time to regain. But what we went through there actually changed a lot of things about how I saw life generally. So the book is actually a small book.
Okay, well, thank you
less
for sharing that. But before this experience, that is the abduction, when you heard or talk about insecurity and kidnapping, before and after, what has changed from being one who just spoke about it as an average Nigerian to being that Nigerian that experienced it? How did that affect your perception and opinion regarding the state of insecurity and the reality of kidnapping in Nigeria?
Wow. Thank you very much. Let me start by saying, like many Nigerians, I saw kidnapping mostly through headlines and news reports. And as a comedian and content creator, sometimes we used to shoot videos, do some skits around it. And we just go all out. Sometimes I sympathize with victims, but I didn't really fully understand the emotional, psychological, and spiritual realities behind those headlines. I just saw them, okay, Nigeria don't give breaking news. 30 people kidnapped, 50 people kidnapped. I didn't understand the psychological aspect, spiritual, and all of those things. So after my experience, I realized that kidnapping affects far more than the victim. So it's not all about who was kidnapped. It goes to family members, communities, businesses, ministries, and the entire support system is affected. So when one person is taken, it's not only the person that is suffering. I remember coming back and seeing my wife, a shadow of herself. She had lost weight, I was like, oh my God. Up till now, she's still trying to regain. She lost weight, running the home. I used to call her 50 days widow because that is who she was, without a husband for 50 days. And, I also learned that insecurity is not merely a security problem. It is a social, economic, and humanitarian challenge. So behind every victim is a family living through uncertainty and trauma. A lot of people went through a lot, praying, raising the ransom. They looked at me and they felt I'll be able to give them 100 million. 100 million. Then they mentioned 100 million. I said to myself, in my heart, not for them to hear, if my wife has 100 million, she just give my children scholarship and take care of them. What am I coming outside to come and do? They saw my phone, they saw pictures with some governors, commissioners, business owners, and they were like, you stay aside, you have a special negotiation. They thought I was a general, threatening me every day. We will kill you, we will do this, we will finish you, we will... Sorry, they were just mentioning things that they would do to me, thinking I was a military personnel. I told them I'm just a comedian. They will laugh and give me slaps and say, we know you people. You are, even in the military, we have entertainment units. So you are one of those people. What made them understand that I was truly just an entertainer was when the news broke up fully on social media. People refused to keep quiet, and they were now posting. Because these guys are so structured and arranged, they listen to news after each operation. That's when they now knew that this guy is a comedian. They are writing, bring back popular comedian, bring back. And I was one making headlines. Popular comedian General Odey kidnapped alongside 23 others. So everywhere, the news was everywhere. So that's when they now were like, okay, this guy na full, not because we could give us better money, sha. I
like how you're making it so lighthearted because at the end of the day, right, there are two questions I want to ask you right now. The trauma, number one, how did you handle the trauma? Because I'm sure it must, as much as you're making it seem very easy and simple, it must have been very traumatic. It must have been scary. It must have been very... I don't know whether there were moments you were saying your last prayer because they look so threatening and so dangerous. Having listened to the stories of other people who might have entered into the den of these kidnappers and never came out alive, So how did you handle those moments of despair, fear, and all those things, all those traumas that built up and then even coming out subsequently? Then secondly, you said something that struck me, and I would want to probe that further. You said it changed how you see things. So I want to ask in reference to today's Democracy Day, right? And honestly, we need to look at Nigeria and how we got into this mess. In 1999, when democracy came on board, especially Fourth Republic, things were not like this. And then came Boko Haram around 2009, and then it started snowballing or metamorphosizing into what we have today. So, how did this shaping your perspective about your country? Did it make you detest Nigeria? Did it make you, just not proud to be one? How exactly did that shape your perspective about Nigeria as your country? So two things, the trauma, how you handled it while in there and while you came out, and then also your perspective of Nigeria having been a victim of the system.
Okay, how I handle my trauma, there are situations you find yourself. Sometimes you pray, you ask God, you seek answers, and you just resolve to one thing: faith. Faith in God to see how this can really happen. 2 weeks in the kidnappers den, I had already prayed, did a lot, asked God why was, how come this whole thing like this? Then I discovered that it could be like a phase of training for me to build capacity, maybe for what God has for me in future. So what I did, I just settled in and built my faith. At some point, I was given a Bible. I asked one of the, they have a secretary. I asked one of the secretary there, please, can I just have a Bible? If I will be spending more days there, at least I should be reading something. Let me read the Bible. The guy laughed at some point and brought one old Bible without Genesis and Revelation. So I just kept reading it, and sharing it with prison. We are prisoners now, my fellow prisoners. So we're just sharing. I was building their faith. I think from the kidnappers then, I was already recovering from the whole process. So it didn't really hit me that much, but just that the fear of what might happen was what was really hitting my head. So they did not wake up one day and just shoot somebody and just, all those things. So, but we're trusting God. So from the kidnappers camp, I was already recovering from the whole thing. And then my perspective about Nigeria, we cannot change who we are. We cannot change where we are born. The only thing we need to do is to, correct the errors, the mistakes, or the things that are happening that we have the ability to change. So I didn't come out hating the country. I didn't come out feeling Nigeria has failed. All I came out to do was, God, let the system work in such a way that a common man will not be the one providing security for himself. A common man will not be the one providing electricity, providing health. Let it be that, it's accessible from the government angle. They are doing all these things for us without fear. Now people are scared of using the water, using the road. A man once told me that it's better to pay flight ticket than to pay ransom. That if the ransom is even, if the ticket is even 1 million from you to Lagos, he will pay instead of going to negotiate ransom. You see the level it has gotten to. So Nigeria is still a great country with great potentials, and I am hopeful that in the nearest future, some of these things will be in the past. And that's my prayer. So I came out praying for the country, praying that things will be better, praying that people will not find themselves in hopeless situation. And one thing that experience did to me was to come out and just hold nothing so dear. Like, my phone can just disappear now. I don't worry, because at that point we found ourselves, we were just thinking about life. And almost entered our bank account, we unlocked everything. They were doing all the transfers at their way, we formatted our phones, gave them, they took them out for sale, stuff like that. They called for money, ransom. So at that point, we're not even thinking of house or thinking of, I wore one clothes for 50 days. My colleague, they even collected what he wore because he was wearing a polo and a jean, very nice one. They removed it and gave him a woman top and a woman trouser to wear for the rest of the day. So we're calling it Kidnappers Babe.
My God.
That type of thing. Even one clothes for 50 days, I came out stinking, smelly, all of those things, because it was so terrible. They didn't even give us space to go around because it was in the creek on a platform. So where will you run to? You can't run, and there was suicide. They called suicide soldiers. Their duty is to shoot you at sight if you do anything that they don't like, and they will tell the commandant that you tried to escape. So we're always facing down and stuff like that. So, but the whole process just happened in such a way that I came out. It took me time to catch up with the society, because light became scary, sound became scary, because they were shooting every day. They would just wake up and be shooting anyhow in the sky. So everything just wanted to remind me of the experience. I think when I came back for almost a month, I could not sleep for more than 1 hour. I'm just scared that if I close my eye, I'll find myself back there. It took me time to, traumatize with the whole system around me. But thanks to family, friends who stood out to see that I had the best of life coming out from there.
Well, it's very beautiful to know that you did have a support system, because I can only imagine how your healing process and challenges to returning to normal life could be. And I must say that we really admire the courage that you've embraced to get better. So now when we talk about, with all of this and in observance of today being Democracy Day and you being in Nigeria, the experience, the emotion, the thoughts, the faith, put everything together. And, that will bring me to my next question. What line of action do you feel deeply, that should be in place? Or do you hope that our policymakers, security agencies, and community leaders will begin to effect, especially with the story that your book, 50 Days in the Kidnappers Den, is aiming to, the message that it is aiming to pass to Nigerians and also to these people as well? What line of actions are you looking forward to and hoping will be carried out, when it comes to dealing with this menace that you were a victim of, as regarding the story you shared in your book?
Okay. First, I always pray for them, and I hope they recognize the human cost of insecurity, because statistics are important, but behind every statistics is a real person with dreams, responsibilities, and loved ones. So I always hope that our policy makers will invest more in intelligence gathering, community engagement, youth empowerment, and preventive security measures. Because when we talk about community intelligence and gathering of this information, these guys are not alien. They are part of the communities that we find ourselves. They are not aliens. They mingle. I remember they go out to buy food, buy clothes, bringing people into the camp, people they come around. Most times they just live as if they have their own. So they are not strangers. I just hope that the government will work hand in hand with some community guys. There are some situations where these bandits will go to some city. I think I heard recently to kidnap school children and the rest. The community stood up. So all those type of things happened. They had to fight back. Though some lives were lost. But these are things that the government are supposed to do, empower people, empower the local community, gather information, empower some youth, work from the preventive security angle, not when it has happened, you're announcing how many lives we lost and all of those. And I also believe that community leaders must become more involved in creating, I think I would say, environments where crime and violence are less attractive. Because this attraction in crime, like a man once said, if the professor is trying to negotiate with the government for increment of salary, and the government is rather negotiating with bandits, I think the professor should join bandits so that he will negotiate more. I just laughed over it. I don't know, we cannot change that. We should not make it look as if that is an attractive option, to embark on. So I would say for security agencies, the book highlights the the urgency for collaboration. When I came out, some few organizations met me and I had to share one or two information, questions and answers that like intelligence gathering. Those are the things that I did when I came back. But I would say ultimately, security should not be seen as government's responsibility alone. It requires collective effort. I remember an ad on radio where they say, if you see anything, if you see, how do they say, anything, say it. Don't hide what you see, We are everyone's security officer. We should be very, very cautious about what happens around. So I think policymakers should do more than just condemn this act on radio, on TV, on newspaper. They should be involved in putting an end to it. they should be involved in putting an end to it. So that's what.
All right. So, I mean, for people who are looking to share in your experience, because, I mean, on book review, we can't possibly tell all the stories. You just give an overview so people will look for this book. I mean, how available is this book in the bookstore? I mean, where can people find the copy of the book to buy and read and share in your experience?
Okay. The book is actually on my seller store anywhere, and the links are on my social media handle, General Odey on Facebook, General Odey on Instagram. So the book is there, and the talking about the lessons. There are a lot of things you learn in the book. Just go get a copy of the book, and I would like to share. Should I say one lesson that will really help us, especially those of us that are plying the road or they are praying for people, have family members. I would like to say that victims don't just suffer physically, families suffer emotionally, communities suffer, economic activities, lives are interrupted. And secondly, the book teaches what I call resilience. So no matter how difficult the situation becomes, never give up on hope. And thirdly, it reveals us that purpose can emerge from pain. Sometimes our greatest testimony comes from our darkest season. So don't just feel as if what you're going through is the end of life. No, it's not the end of life. My story is a proof that even when life places you in a den, you don't have to remain here. You have to think beyond where you find yourself. I remember I started writing this book. Some people thought it was a joke. In the Kidnappers then, I started writing, even though we had leaves, I was not jotting down some things like that, because I knew when I came out, I really need to share the story and the message I want every person to carry is no, don't just give up under your tent. Stay there, write something out of there. They normally say your mess is your message, so pack it together and get a copy of this book. It will help you. It will help you. And just like, should I share this as a testimony? Those guys, I think since I came back, the commander had reached me with 3 different private numbers, like just trying to check up on me, and I'm wondering why is that I just want to check up on you. How are you doing? At the end of the book, you will see our last encounter with him when we were being released that day. He sat down talking to us about why he's doing this. He was even apologizing and telling me he's sorry, like that. So he told me he would be calling me, but I was scared. So he's using different private lines. I'll just pick and he will introduce himself. I'll pick and introduce himself. So I think somehow he's trying to make friends with me, but I don't want to be friends with Bandit too.
I wanted to even ask. So you're not friends with him. You know how this Stockholm syndrome.
Kidnap general.
My God.
I can imagine.
I mean, it's quite. I don't know when you'll be in Abuja soon, but we would really love to
host you in person. Yes. So you should plan to come to Abuja soon.
So I mean, when he calls, is it that you normally drop the call, or you talk with him gently, or how do you respond to him?
I think the last time he called, he was like, I just picked the call and I heard, General. I said, who is this? He now called his name, General, 12 o'clock. I was like, 12 o'clock. You are the one calling me. He said he wants a copy of the book. I said, come and get it at the venue. He laughed. I said, I cannot come out. I said, come, if you have mind to come and get the book at the venue. He was saying that he needs the book. I told him the book is now under my custody. I've kidnapped the book. The ransom is 20 million. He ended the call and left. So when he calls, sometimes I just speak, and by the time I know it's him, I'm not too comfortable speaking with him and stuff like that.
Wow.
So that's how the conversation goes. You know, what happened when they captured us from the high sea and they were taking us into the creek. They opened my back and saw 3 berets, I think green, blue, and the black one. Since I was going for an event and I'll have to go to other cities that weekend. So immediately they opened the back. They said, we don't catch army man.
No wonder they were bent on you being a general, an army general.
Yeah, they said we don't catch army man. They went deeper and saw some of military attire. They were at this army, like I blocked out my head a little bit. I shouted, "Don't be army man or not comedian." That's how they now hit my head. You will see our general. You will see the real general. So when we got to the camp, they were now doing what they call profiling. Profiling is they gather details, your name, what you do, your name, what you do. So when they asked me, they were asking other people, they will mention, I'm David, I'm a big lawyer, I'm David, I'm a medical doctor, I'm Joshua, I'm this. When they got I'm the Odey. Because I knew they had a general. How dare me call general? I said, I am Odey. They said, Odey, what do you do? I say, I'm an entertainer. They told me, so you are denying your name. Is it not the ID card? I cannot just say, no, I'm a brother in the Lord. Those guys. So when the man called me and said, General, now you be the real general. For you to catch a general for 50 days, you are the real general. So you are the boss. I'm not the general. But sometimes I tell people I'm a former kidnapped personnel. So somehow I'm a personnel.
Wow, interesting.
Somehow it's in my CV now. Yes, former kidnapped personnel.
Oh, wow. We've been talking with General Odey, very interesting personality, I must say. I mean, how you're able to make, jokes and you're so lighthearted when it comes to this issue. That is the scariest thing, I'm sure, for every Nigerian. Nobody wants to go through that. No, please. I mean, I think you're built for this. Like you said.
They should just keep reading it on papers.
Yes, let it start and end there. Like you said, you said something that I picked that probably God built you up for that to shapen you through that experience. And honestly, I think I agree with you totally, because not so many people have gotten back their lives normal again. Some people's lives will never remain again the same again because of that traumatic one event. In fact, some people did not even stay up to 50 days. Some people is just some few days, but they come out changed forever in a negative way, But here you are, cracking jokes, and I'm really happy about that.
Yes,
but I'm sure our listeners are.
Oh yes, please. Abuja is dying to talk to you right now. So yes, for every one of you who want to speak to the author of the 50 days in the Kidnappers' Den, please get ready to do so. 0700 951 0000. 0809-597-4869. Then on WhatsApp, 0809-993-0137. And like I told you, this review is streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja. So call, show some love, and react to the book that we're reviewing today and interact with the author.
All right, we have someone here. Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Notre General, Dr. My name is Uncle Tom. I call you.
Uncle Tom.
I want to talk to the General Odey. I call you from Bombay. I'm in India.
Uncle Tom, can you talk normal, please? Can you talk normal? Nobody understands this your Indian accent, please.
You can go ahead and talk. I'll try to listen to you gradually.
Who can some money, but not from kidnappers. But if really you have that book you want me to serve, I give you my address to Madam Swat. Madam Swat, can I have some coins?
Uncle Tom, mind yourself, please talk.
I talk okay. I don't want to talk too much because I'm not a comedian. We from India. I'm from Kerala, local government. Okay, I finish my talk. General Odey, I want to meet with you. Me and you can combine and we get plenty money. Plenty money, some coins, we get some coins.
Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Tom. Bible coins. Get.
Thank you.
Hopefully, maybe they will drop my number so that me and you go talk. Because this is India. I feel like saying India from Abba.
Let's take this one. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Tell us your name.
Good afternoon, my dad. Good afternoon, my dad. Good afternoon, Daddy General. I'm not.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Please, I just want to know, General, is the federal government can be able to gather any information from you so that we bring an end to this tragedy? That's my question. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, General Odey, just hold on that. Let's take one or two other comments, then maybe you can respond at some time. Hello? Okay, yeah, that call didn't stay. You can call back. All right, now maybe you might just... Okay, now hold on. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I want to commend the courage. The author is a special human being. It's a special human being. For ordinary ransom that I went to deliver, my life was never the same a few days after, let alone someone staying for those number of days. And he's talking about it like this, in such a funny tone. My concern about the book now is updates that would have dropped for intending or currently practicing kidnappers. I don't know what he intends to do about that, because learning is a continuous process. In as much as we are praying to God that it should end. If last week some bandits that came to TikTok, you saw what Nigerians were saying, I got disturbed. So this kind of material, whatever is written, will last a lifetime of a generation. So, thank you. Let me end it here.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. Someone else is here. Hello.
Good afternoon, Honorable Swat.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Thank you for picking my call.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Hello, the General.
Yeah, bonsoir. Comment ça va?
Jokes apart, I believe you're a very courageous gentleman.
Can you tell us your name, please? Tell us your name before you make your comment.
All right. My name is Mr. Emmanuel Bassey.
All right.
General Odey is a brave gentleman. The area he comes from, or where he operated from, and where that incident took place. To be honest with you, if you get through or near there, you'll be scared to death. I just have one question to ask him. God forbid, I'm not praying that anybody should have this experience again. But should this thing happen to somebody, what advice would he give to people how to conduct themselves in that circumstance? I don't want to be misunderstood. I never pray that anybody should go through that. But those who are in that situation, those that may be in that situation in future, how should they conduct themselves? Thank you, General Odey.
All right. Thank you so much. I mean, nobody prays to be kidnapped, but I think it's a very valid question. Nobody prays for it, but it happens. I mean, unless we fix the system, like you said, it's a combination of so many things, economic, social, and other things. And unless that is fixed. So, yeah, very valid question. I would love to hear how you would answer that.
Okay, I think I should start from the one our brother asked if federal government has contacted me. You know, it's not everything we will we will put out there. Some things are not for just like they are going to catch somebody now. You now ask when they are going. So I think consultations have been made in some areas, and that is the little I can share. And then on our brother that asks the impact
back to
on
the back.
Okay, I think he was talking about what the book has to say about maybe new ideas and stuff that maybe I've shared in the book. Actually, the book does not capture. I think the tricks, the tactics. I think in detail how those kidnappers operate, because if you put that type of information out there, they might change their strategy. They might evolve. They might use another part, thinking this one is already known already. So the other part of the book is going to be, but I'm actually writing that one, how those guys operate. So it's not going to be for public consumption anyway. I'm packaging that for security agencies and government alike. So that's where we are pushing. And then Emma Bassida asks, should it happen, what advice will I give anybody that find himself in such a place? I think the first thing you're supposed to do is to be calm, and obey whatever they say. Once you are stubborn, that is where something else. But they say, sit down, stand up, don't panic. Just, in fact, they know people that are confident, they know people that are timid. This is how they rate people when they catch them. So they know some that are a security threat to them. So when they saw how confident and stable I was, they were even somehow too scared about the whole thing. That's why they started putting hands in my nose, in my mouth, some part of my body, to find out if I came there with a device or a communication gadget or something. So you have to be calm, confident, and not panic. Whatever they say you should do. I remember they were flogging me, asking me how many people I will have to call, how many numbers I have to call to produce 100 million. So they were beating me. I said 1. They beat. I said 2. They were beating. I was increasing to 3. They were beating. I said 4, 5. But one of my colleagues was just there on 1. They were beating him. Beating him until he started bleeding on his back. You know, just increase number. At the end of the day, you will call, but you won't be calling everybody like that. So calmness, don't just do something that will harm you. There was a man that tried to escape and he almost lost his life because they went after him, brought him open wounds in his head. I think one of the pilot that drove the boat. So sometimes it's calm. Just be calm. Don't let panic make you do something terrible. Because you just obey their laws, their instruction. They ask us not to look up, and we're always looking down for days. It's only when we are alone that our faces come up. We're looking down. So we came out, most of us were walking like chimpanzees because, you know, our back don't bend. You understand? So that's how the whole situation was. So be calm. And for people that are listening to me right now, if your friend, your family member, your colleague is captured, and they call for ransom, don't panic. Don't rush in mentioning figures and all those things. The first thing you should do is give them confidence that you have that money. Let them know that you will look for the money, even if you don't have it. They say 100 million. You say, okay, sir, we will look for the money, even though we don't have the money. They know you are able to identify, you understand the system. You will look for the money. Don't tell them I have 100 million and bring it the 100 million. Even if you have, say we look for the money, and then when we end the call, get people that can give you counsel and advice. There are people that can negotiate this ransom, whatever. If you know you don't have the mind, sometimes in negotiation, be bold enough to tell the people your stand, because they are looking for money. And most of these guys, they are not organ harvesters. Most of the kidnappers we have, they are not organ harvesters. They just want money. So you should be confident. You say 100 million, we have brought 10 million. Calm down. Don't rush. Don't. Sometimes if they hear some authority in your voice, then they calm down too. Like my wife was the one negotiating at first. At some point, I started praying in the den because it's as if my own matter was not being resolved because she was always crying, always panicking. Anytime they call, she will cry. Oh, kidnapper will not be able to say anything. Anytime she pick their call, she will cry. Oh, the kidnapper will not be able to say anything. So they will come and tell me, your wife is not negotiating. No, she is only crying. That your crying wife. I really bad. That is how she's able to do all those things. So I had to pray at some point that someone else should handle the negotiation. And thank God, one of our pastors took over the negotiation and started talking with these guys, speaking with them, telling them that these things, you want money, we too, we are looking for the money, give us time, reduce the torture, reduce the, let us even hear his voice to know if he's alive. Sometimes they make a demand, you make a demand too. You are demanding for money, let's hear the person that we want to give, want to release. It shows that you are having is a towel. You hold your own part of the towel, another person you drag, we drag. There's somewhere we definitely meet. No matter the amount they call, from 100 million, they brought it to 80 million, from 80 million to 50 million, from 50 million. And then when they bring them down, like say now, click and now with the price. At the end of the day, I think close to 8 million came out. You understand? So you should be bold, not just they pay 100 million, you run around. There is an incident that happened there. One of us, they called the family member. The family member was just there. He didn't even seek for counsel. He didn't even go for help. Didn't even consult security agencies to advise him on how to handle such a case. He was there discussing with the kidnappers. They will carry the guy. They will be beating him. You'll be increasing the money from 5 million to 10 million, from 10 million to 20 million, until the money got to almost 50 or 80 million. They now said, okay, bring the money. That is when he went to tell the family people that kidnappers kidnapped with the social person and they are demanding for 100 million, but he has negotiated to 70, I mean 50 million. The kidnapper now told him to bring the money. After running around, what they could see at the end of the day was just 10 million. And they came and told the kidnapper that we cannot afford 70 million. We are able to bring. That is how they started beating the guy afresh. When you mention that you are bringing 80 million, the camp is excited. Feel as if they don't hammer. They will order things, order, buy fuel, buy generator, do things, waiting for you to bring. And then you now come and tell them that the money is not up to that amount. They don't provoke for you now. That's how they almost wanted to kill this guy. If not that God came through for him. So most times you are calm, negotiating. Get people that can negotiate with this guy with experience. Someone that understands, that can read their emotion from their tone. You understand? I know how these guys reason, how they think. So sometimes I know how to handle. So people have called me in some cases and I've lent my own support and it has come out successful. So sometimes these guys are even scared making calls outside. So you should not make it look as if you are shaking. So that's a mass answer I'm trying to explain. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So we have about 5 minutes to go, so maybe we'll take a call, and if there's a message.
I think we should have message. Okay, I don't think we have messages, do we? No, we don't.
They prefer to want to talk to
Yeah. So I think the meeting would end up in another, let's say, 10 minutes. So we have to quickly round 10, 11 minutes. So we'll just take two last calls as we round up on this very conversation. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome.
My name is Shola. Thank you for picking my call.
All right, go ahead.
The general, I thank you for I thank you for your wisdom. And I want to beg Nigerians, please, don't let us ask some sensitive questions. We are talking of security here. Because we are going to ask, let this one that will be profitable. Now, my question to General, sir, this is on a lighter note. When you were there, were you asked to crack jokes? Did you crack jokes for them? That's a lighter note. Then, another one, where General said that those who are their friendly. Yes, I have an experience. Though it's not a kidnapper, that I was working in the one bottling company the night. When these thieves, local thieves, when they are attacking me, my motor broke down. When they're coming from the behind, I begin to plead. They put knife at my neck. As I was pleading, they said, "Put money on you." As I got the money, one among them said, "No, leave him. He's cooperating. He's cooperating." The least that I trust Almighty God. They collected it from my hand. I collected one back. I told them, "Please, this one is not good. Give me, let me go and repair it and commit my skills." To God, we are communicating like a normal friends inside bush. So, like you said, don't be panicked, be confident, don't be too forward.
All right, we don't have so much time, so you need to make it very short, you know.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Shola. And then the last caller. Hello.
Hello, Sister Swat. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
The General, I dug my cap for you. Thank God for your safety. I think my name is the Great Man. You already know me, Swat.
Yeah, go ahead.
In fact, my spirit is just depleted here, hearing all this word. In Swat, I don't know where to start. But in all, I think the government need to be up and doing. This kind of general is supposed to be engaged so that you can give them a empirical discussion, everything that they will need to track these elements. And it's a lucky one. There are brutal kidnappers that we know that even when the ransom is paid, they still went ahead to kill the person. There are some that are infuriated on religious issue, on other ethnicity and all that just kill people for nothing. So the government should look for this young man, if the government is serious to fight insecurity in this country, so that he could take them through the tracks that they will need to trap these elements.
All right. Thank you.
And the communities where we dwell also, we need to be up and doing too.
Mr. Great Man, I'm afraid we're constrained with time, so please just round up.
1 second.
Thank you.
Just 1 second. In fact, 3 days ago, the youth rose when they came to carry a lot of people. You know.
All right. Thank you.
Number of people to the bush.
Thank you, Mr. Big Man. You're dragging, and the time is running out. So, Mr. General Odey, just quickly, answer the question as we begin to round up on the conversation.
As a great man, power to carry them, they find where they they will find. The only thing is maybe some consultations that will help us know how they think and how they do their operations. I think that will be the one. And the other, my brother Shalada asked if I was funny. My brother, no, but we they see him face now if he crack joke give. Now we they see him face if he funny now. People don't stop, don't lock their face, cover their eye, wear mask. My brother, he cannot be funny in that place. All we are doing is to respect our life. I just see that we come out alive. So there was no time to joke anywhere. Even when they know that at the end they knew that I was a comedian, they no sense. Because it's when you can see somebody's face and have a way of communicating with them, that's when you can have access to their hearts and for them to laugh. So that's me answering those two questions. Thank you.
All right.
All right. So we have to go. But quickly, on WhatsApp, so many persons really appreciating you. Say, I wouldn't want to connect the General Odey's situation to a saying that there's a purpose for everything. If not, I would have said there's a purpose for his kidnapping, considering the wealth of experience he has gotten, through which the general public is hearing from him today. I pray the federal government brings this criminality to an end today as a June 12 gift to Nigerians. And lastly, Comrade Fodu says the general possesses an overdose of emotional intelligence. He should keep it up. One thing that keeps on bothering me is why the federal government's intelligence gathering system cannot foresee such ugly face as a possible situation this period. Ideally, any serious government should be able to predict this ugly phase, and I want to use the opportunity to call on the federal government to overhaul the security system in the country, just like the Netherlands and so on. Yes.
All right. I think we have this quick one. Let's listen to a bit of it.
Fortune. General, I greet you. He's the King of Kings. So what I want to say that you're a very lucky man to be out of the dens of the evil ones. Those kidnappers, they are devilish. But let me tell you something. Those people have phone. They call your wife. They negotiate for ransom with the same phone continuously. And you tell me that the security agency cannot track that phone. They cannot pinpoint where that phone is. Open your browser, open Google. See, if you Google anything, you will see your location, where you are googling something. And you want to tell me that the whole Nigeria security agencies cannot track this bandit or kidnapper? No, something is fishy.
All right, thank you. We have to stop there.
Yes,
we hear this a whole lot, and I know it's a big concern for Nigerians. The usage of phone, location tracking, and stuff like that is a question or a mystery that maybe over time we get to understand. But General Odey, I must say it was a very rewarding, interesting, emotional ride. Just listening to you speak about that. I don't wish that for my worst enemy, but congratulations, you're a survivor.
Thank you very much. Is it possible for people to place order for the book online?
You could just call your social media handles, and I'm sure once they
like a WhatsApp number that they can.
It's not a commercial thing, so we may not allow numbers. But then, what we will do is, if anyone is interested, they could send us a WhatsApp message, and then we could forward the number to them personally. I'm calling it on air since it's not a commercial. Yes,
I understand.
All right, but what's your social media platform?
Yes, General Odey. Just search General Odey on Facebook, General Odey on Twitter, General Odey on Instagram. But for police checkpoint, Brother Odey.
Okay, so how is Odey spelled? How is
Odey is what now? Do you spell Odey?
Odey.
All right.
General Odey.
All right. Thank you so much, General Odey.
All right, thank you, General. In 3 words, say something to Abuja before we sign out.
Abuja, you are safe in Jesus' name. You'll be happy.
All right.
Thank you so much, General.
All right, thank you, General.
Whenever you visit Abuja, do let us know. It would be great to have you in person in the studio.
Sure, when I'm in town, I'll let you guys know.
All right.
You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Wow, interesting person. Okay, interesting one we had on the book review today. Quite a traumatic incident that has been changed into a story that I'm sure many people will get to learn and also benefit from. Well, amazing.
Well, I'm kind of partly speechless, but
I'm telling you, it
is real. It happened, and I admire the courage for him to tell a story out of it, because, like one of the callers was saying, it's a traumatizing experience, and for some persons, it takes a very long time. But him finding the courage, and even in the midst of it, still finding some sort of purpose or understanding about the situation, it is very admirable. So I think that's the much I can say. I think Open Mic is up next. Yes, it's 2:17 p.m. And at this time, you will be sharing your news or conversation of interest and opinions about it going forward. So let's get a breather, and we'll be back to start that.
This is Nigeria Info.